WriteAbout and WriteSteps have come together to create CaptivationStation, a digital platform for the instruction and practice of 3rd through 5th grade writing and grammar. CaptivationStation offers daily Captivator videos based on every standards-based lesson in WriteSteps, independent practice instruction for students, and a digital writing community where the students draft, revise, edit, post, publish, and share their writings. CaptivationStation is the answer for schools who are ready to step into the future and harness the power of blended learning. One of the most important aspects of CaptivationStation is that it provides you more time to step away from the front of the classroom and work one-on-one with individuals or with small groups. You are now free to move away from being the disseminator of the lesson to being a coach or mentor who is available to provide differentiated instruction throughout the writer's workshop. Another important aspect is that students have more time to write. They increase their writing stamina. They also have more time and opportunities to use the advanced features of WriteAbout to collaborate with other writers and to publish to authentic audiences. CaptivationStation is a delivery system for the WriteSteps curriculum. You can use it in several ways. Your choice will be determined by the availability of digital tools, your students' needs, and your comfort level. You may differentiate the delivery of the video portion. You may show it to the group as a whole, as if you were teaching the lesson yourself. You may also show it to small groups in centers, ability groups, or table groups. Some of you will choose to have individual students watch on their own, allowing them to work independently and at their own pace. Many of you will choose to use a mixture of delivery methods, perhaps showing the videos in small groups or having students watch individually, but then, on occasion, pulling the students together to do a lesson whole group. You might do this when the lesson calls for students to score a student sample or when you want to stress a particular skill. You have other choices to make also. You may have students do all of their writing digitally, or you may have students use a combination of digital and paper-pencil writing. You may make the decision or allow your students to decide. If you have access to a learning management system, for example, Edmodo or Schoology, or if you have access to Google Classroom, you can supplement CaptivationStation with Turn-In and other features. This launch video will provide a walkthrough of the CaptivationStation platform in which the students will work and where you will read and comment on their work. However, when you are ready to learn the how of all the aspects I point out, you will rely on the information in getting started with CaptivationStation and the tutorials in getting started with WriteAbout. I'm going to be using Chrome as my browser. CaptivationStation works with all browsers, but we recommend Chrome for the best user experience. Both students and teachers must always begin by logging in to writeabout.com. Let's begin by clicking on the top right corner to sign in. Then select Teacher. Log in with your username and password. You may be registering yourself. In this case, you will select your own username and password and join the appropriate district. District is the word used to label a school group. However, in some instances, your account manager will register the teachers in your school group or district. In that case, your username and password will be given to you. Either way, the account manager needs to turn on your access to CaptivationStation. So after you register, you need to alert your account manager before you can proceed. First, I'd like to point out this Show Help, Hide Help button. You use it to find or to hide getting started with WriteAbout. This opens more resources specific to WriteAbout. For now, I'll hide this section. so that we only see Getting Started with Captivation Station. Your students will have their own Getting Started with Captivation Station. You can access it by clicking here. Some of the explanations I give you in this Captivation Station launch are also explained here in your Getting Started with Captivation Station. So when you feel ready to review what we discussed in this video and learn even more, return to this section and check out any of the topics labeled with light green buttons for the directions you need. Or click on the question mark or the Show Help button again. This will open more resources to assist you. You will want to read all of the directions and watch the tutorial videos that WriteAbout provides, but you can do that little by little as you feel ready. Don't feel as though you have to learn all of this information before you start. Next, I am going to click Show Help so that I can show you Getting Started with WriteAbout. The numbers at the top in the gray boxes label tutorials that provide explanations about WriteAbout. These tutorials were created not only for Captivation Station users, but also the users of WriteAbout. Therefore, there are some topics that do not pertain to you, the Captivation Station user. For example, you will hear mention of some levels of purchase within WriteAbout: Free, Classroom Plus, and School District. These levels have nothing to do with Captivation Station. Just keep in mind that you have the highest level of use. It equates to the WriteAbout School District level, and therefore all of the tools are available to you. In spite of this, Getting Started with WriteAbout is very important and thorough. It gives explanations for topics that you will benefit from when you are ready to add your students, view their writing, comment on it, and make decisions about posting to the class and larger groups. It will make more sense to you when you have seen the basics of Captivation Station. So, now I will leave the Show Help page and go back to Captivation Station in order to demonstrate how to find the lessons and move from unit to unit and day to day. This lesson has one Captivator and one practice activity and 2 visual aids that the students will use. This lesson has 2 Captivators and 2 practice activities and 2 visual aids. The lessons are not all alike, but they are made up of these parts. First, students watch the Captivator in Step 1. Notice that the students can pause and rewind the video if they want to. The students follow the steps. When ready, they move on to the practice. They can listen to the instructions as they read them. The focus skills are listed next to the independent practice instructions to remind the students of the skills being emphasized. If the student needs to refer to a visual aid, they are right here for easy access. However, students should be told to open all the visual aids before getting started with Step 2. This will ensure that they have all the visual aid tabs open and ready to use as they need them. As they watch the Captivators and work their way through the practice pages, if they want to refer back to a video, instructions, or a visual aid while working on the independent practice, they can easily move from place to place by using the tabs. Visual aids open as a PDF in a new tab. If your students do not have access to a PDF annotator, you should make the copies available for students by downloading and printing the student visual aid packet found on WriteSteps. Some documents in the visual aids section include links to YouTube videos and/or audio recordings being presented in the lesson. Some schools may have access to PDF annotation apps or software. If your students have access to this type of free source, feel free to permit them to write on the PDFs instead of printing paper copies of the visual aids. When students are ready to do their daily writing, they should return to the home page. If they are continuing to work with a piece previously started, they select Posts My Drafts, and Edit Post. Then they will continue writing the piece here. If the students are writing a new piece, they will click on the pencil icon. Either way, they will be writing on a page that looks like this. Let's look at this page from top to bottom. Students may add a saved image here. Then they include a title. If the audio has been enabled on your student's browser settings, they may read and record their writing. This enhances the sharing of the piece and also helps students with editing and revising. They write here using any of these common tools. The writing space grows to accommodate longer pieces. The purpose of all three of these sections is to describe the writing piece to the reading audience. If students have added an image that is not their own, they provide attribution. Learning to give appropriate credit or cite the original source is an important digital citizenship skill. Student writing is automatically saved every 60 seconds. However, this is the section where students save their work when they have completed their writing for the day. You can learn more about each of the levels of privacy in Getting Started with WriteAbout. But for now, it is important for you to realize that as the teacher, you moderate when students can post to the district or public. The student will choose between draft, which means I have more work to do on this piece, or private, which means I think I'm done with this, at least for now. Then they will click the big button that will either say Save or Publish, depending on their privacy selection. While we are here on the Write page, I'd like to point out a couple of tabs on the blue navigation bar at the top of the page. Let's select Ideas. There are hundreds of ideas to stimulate students' imaginations when they are given the opportunity for free choice writing. You can customize or limit the selection of ideas for your students' free writing by selecting up to 8 ideas and placing them here in Featured Ideas. Now, when I select Posts, you see pieces written by students that have been posted publicly, and you see your own students' drafts and published work. Back on the home page, students click on Mark Day Complete when they have finished all of the steps in the day's lesson. This action turns the green button gray so that the student can easily find what day to start on when they resume work. It also shows up on your management page to inform you which lessons each student has completed. There are many ways to access the Manage Student page. I'm going to show you one way that is easy and direct. By clicking Students in the menu bar, a dashboard appears. Notice the teacher's code. Also listed are the number of students, posts this month, and words this month. Several tools are located on this dashboard. Let's take a closer look. We'll begin with the Student Activity tool. This window allows me to see student activities, including date of last login and number of posts, drafts, and comments. You also have the ability to sort students by group. Next, let's investigate the Manage Students tool. I'll click Add Student. You will have 2 choices. You can add a single student by providing basic information, or you can add multiple students. Detailed directions will appear to guide you through the process of importing students using a CSV file. You can individualize security settings and grade levels at this time also. Notice that you can adjust the sharing and moderation of student work from this window. Another feature I'd like to highlight is the data report. From this window, you view statistics about student production. By selecting the Share Student tool, you have the ability to share students' work and data with another teacher for the purpose of collaboration. Your account manager will be able to transfer the data and files to the teachers who are receiving your students in the next school year. Now let's move out of the dashboard and go back to the home page to talk about how you give feedback to your students. I'll click View My Notifications. I see that I have 6. Let's start with the first one. Autumn has published a post. I need to moderate it. I'll click here. This brings up Autumn's post. You can highlight a word or section and provide a suggestion. You can give oral feedback, or you can write a comment, which only the author will see. Notice Autumn's teacher left a positive comment. Providing glows as well as grows, comments regarding strengths and weaknesses, is as important in your digital feedback as it is in your live conferencing feedback. Remember, the digital feedback is quick and it can be made in real time, but it does not reduce the importance of face-to-face conferencing. Now I want to be sure that you know some specifics that will help you use CaptivationStation effectively. It is important to know that your school or district has a CaptivationStation account manager. This person is either your administrator or someone designated by your administrator. Your account manager turns CaptivationStation on for you, can access student data, and is the person who turns on CaptivationStation for your student accounts once their names are listed. You and your students can log into WriteAbout once your account is created, but you cannot see any of the CaptivationStation content until the account manager turns on your access. You will need to find out who this person is. You need the information in WriteSteps to effectively deliver the WriteSteps lessons using CaptivationStation. If you know nothing about WriteSteps, refer to your PD On Demand tab and watch the kickoff video. Remember the tools you have in WriteSteps. Pre-Unit 1 documents, Captivators in WriteSteps lessons, and Student Visual Aids download button for each unit. Although WriteSteps is important, it is only for your use. Students never log into WriteSteps. Now, let's go back to the Getting Started pages. They can be found when you log in or by returning to the home page. Clicking the question mark in the top right corner or by clicking the Help button under the blue navigation bar opens a WriteAbout Help section that you can search by topic. Look at the left-hand sidebar. It is like a table of contents, a listing of topics you can learn more about. Many of the sections have screenshots and videos to make the instructions easier to understand and remember. You do not need to check all of this information now. Get comfortable with CaptivationStation and WriteSteps and then start learning the specifics. Looking at the sections and getting started with CaptivationStation is a good first step. This section tells you the basics of CaptivationStation, how the students receive the lesson and assignment instructions, where the students write, how they save their writing, where you find it, and how you comment and give feedback. Each section in Getting Started with CaptivationStation has screenshots and user-friendly directions. Your second step should be to add your students to WriteAbout. Your designated CaptivationStation account manager might do this for you, but if not, there are 3 ways for you to add your students. Go to Manage Students and choose add students one at a time. Or you can go to Manage Students and choose to add multiple students. When you do choose this option, you will see a set of directions telling you how to import students from a CSV file. The third way is that you can have students register themselves using the teacher code. This is the option to choose if you are using Google Sign-ins. The final step to take before your students can actually begin using CaptivationStation is to notify the designated account manager. That person must activate CaptivationStation for the students. This is very important. Otherwise, your students will be able to log in to write about, but they will not be able to see any of the CaptivationStation content. WriteSteps can help you learn the specifics of CaptivationStation. Contact Arlene at WriteStepsWriting.com to schedule professional development. CaptivationStation will revolutionize writing and grammar instruction and prepare students for a lifetime of confident writing.